So first I want to thank really everybody for coming out tonight and coming together to learn a little Torah. You know, Rabbi Nachman says that when we're learning Torah, so we're connecting ourselves to the wisdom which is in everything. Not just divine wisdom, but literally the wisdom which is in everything. And when we connect ourselves to the wisdom which is in everything, it opens up new opportunities and possibilities within our lives. It's not a class on Rabbi Nachman, just wanted to open up a little bit to get us thinking about what happens when we come and learn Torah together. I don't have a microphone, so I'm gonna. But if you can't hear me in the back, just let me know. I'll try to speak, project my voice as much as possible tonight. So I've been asked by our holy host, who I'm so excited to be at his house. I just can't get over and meet his family, Baruch Hashem. We wanted to talk about Chanukah. So I said, Chanukah, spirituality, and Kabbalah. So for many of us, Chanukah, I see people, everyone here, I can see a little bit. We all have different backgrounds. Anybody grew up in the same house here? Right? Nobody's sitting, right? So we all grew up with totally different and similarities, but we all grew up with different ways of thinking about what it's Chanukah, connecting with Chanukah, and even since that time, when we've been on our own in our own lives, how we've connected to Chanukah. So, and I want to talk about it in a way that you might have heard, but maybe there's things you haven't heard about Chanukah. I know I'm still learning about Chanukah, and I've been teaching about Chanukah for 30 years, and I'm still learning about Chanukah. There's so much to learn about Chanukah. There's so much there. And one of the things about living in the time that we do is that the message that's given out about Chanukah, the big message, the one on the billboard, so to speak, has nothing to do with Chanukah, right? Buying presents is beautiful, so nice. Everyone wants a gift. Who doesn't want a gift? But we live in this very material world, and it has impacted on how we even think about our own holy days. Now, of course, in this time of greater anti-Semitism, Chanukah takes on even another meaning that it didn't have for any of us 18 months ago. A year, 2 years ago, Chanukah, we were totally different mind space. Totally. And Chanukah is all about, the historic part of it has to do with persecution, which is something we're all living through in our own ways, everybody in their own ways. A person told me that just recently, that they can't get they're having trouble getting an interview for a job. They're having trouble getting an interview for a job because their name is so Jewish. So, in a way, I guess the persecution that we're undergoing, it will help us connect a little bit better to Chanukah. Because that's what was going on for our ancestors more than 2,000 years ago in the time of Yehuda Maccabee. That's a great one.
Yeah,
that's great. How about that? Yehuda Maccabee. I couldn't have planned that, right? Okay. So, the Gemara speaks about Chanukah and trying to just understand the difference between Chanukah and Purim. On Chanukah, Chaf Hey, they rested, they rededicated the temple, and they established these as days of thanksgiving and praise. These are established as days of thanksgiving and praise. Praise, what's the word in Hebrew for praise?
Shevach.
Shevach is one, good. Hallel is one that we, a prayer service that we say. It's praises, right?
Kavod? Would that be praise?
Pardon?
Kavod?
Kavod is like honor, but yeah.
Kingship.
Like I know in modern Hebrew, like you say like kavod, meaning like you can, it's a compliment, right? Right, a compliment. L'hodos u'l'halel. L'hodos u'l'halel. These are days of hodos, hodaot, and hallel. Do we say hallel? Hallel is a special prayer that we say with a bunch of psalms we say on festivals. So do we say that on Purim? Another one of these biblical, post-biblical holidays. No. We don't say Hallel on Purim, right? Why don't we say Hallel? Because it is said that the penalty, what the enemies of the Jewish people in the time of Haman and Achashverosh, they were trying to kill the Jews, but they were not trying to kill Judaism. In the time of Chanukah, the Assyrian Greeks, maybe cousins of the people who just switched governments, I don't know. The Assyrians, they were trying to destroy Judaism. They actually wanted us all to be really good Hellenists, right? They didn't want to kill Jews. That was a last resort. If you weren't going to get on the bandwagon, so then maybe we'll kill you. So when the Jewish people won, the rabbis set aside these days as Hallel, Hodah, and Hallel, of praise, because Judaism was saved. Judaism was literally saved at this time, in this place, because that's what they were trying to erase. What does the word? You see this all the time now. Wow. So we call ourselves Jews, but in Hebrew, what do we call ourselves? Yehudim. Yehudim. And if you ask most people, where's the word Yehudim come from? It comes from Judea. The Jewish people, they lived in Judea. It's like this geographic region of where the tribe of Judah settled. And so they're Judea or Yehudah. So we're Yehudim based on Yehudah. On the tribe.
It's after Galut.
And after Galut, we became Yehud. They call Yehudim based on the tribe because the other tribes, things didn't go well with the other tribes. We know, right? 10 tribes got taken away. Please God, they'll come back. Okay. Why I want to dwell on this for a moment, because Yehudim, as much as it means a place, is not about the place. Let me explain. Yehudim are the people that give praise to God. We are the people that give praise to God. We praise God. Yehudim, we praise God. We're all about praising God. Abraham discovered and taught to praise God. Right? People will go to Abraham's house. Oh, give me some food. And he would say, Baruch Hashem. Praise God. We all say Baruch Hashem. We are praising God when we say that. This is a defining feature of what it means to be a Jew. We are Yehudim. So these are days of praise. So they connect deeply, deeply, deeply to who we are. Days of praise. Chanukah is a time of praise, of praising God. And Hallel, these are thanks that we have what we have as Jews. There's an interesting halacha about lighting the Chanukah candles. This is a little bit of Sfas Emes for you. It says, there's a midrash that says, Haragil bener havile banim tamid chachamim. It's a Gemara in Shabbos, actually. One who regularly lights the Chanukah candles will have children who are Torah scholars. What's the connection? What's the connection between lighting Chanukah candles and having Torah scholars. I mean, we all know there are lots of people who light Hanukkah candles. And sadly, not yet. Not yet. I'm not counting their kids out. No Jew left behind. We're not counting anybody out. But their kids, maybe not yet Torah scholars, right? But they light Hanukkah candles. So is the Gemara lying? Is the Gemara not telling the truth? Or maybe we just don't understand it, says the Sfas Emes. So Ragil Bener is like this. Many things in our lives we do out of habit. We do them out of habit. We don't really think about what we're doing. In Hebrew, hergel is routine. Hergel is routine. So, if a person lets Judaism become only routine, then it's going to become dull. But if we infuse it with newness, this is the Sfas Emes saying, right? If we infuse what we're doing with newness and kavana and intention, then we're not going to be uninspired, and it's going to influence our children. In other words, and we could go on, and I don't want to get too distracted, too off topic, but haragil bener. If you're lighting, if you're just ragil, it's not going to work. You have to have also a newness in there, and then you're going to have the children of Talmidei Chachamim. We know that so much. There's so much going on. You know, you get home. I don't know about you, but like Hanukkah comes in so early. You're at work. You rush home. You gotta light the Hanukkah candles. Maybe you do, or maybe you have some event you have to go to, whatever. By the time you get home, it can happen. I'm not talking about the first night of Hanukkah, but maybe the second, maybe the third night. And all of a sudden, like, you just are going through the motions. So we have to be so careful about not just going through the motions on Hanukkah. Couple of pieces of wisdom that our Hasidic masters have taught us is to spend time meditating on the candles. When you light the candles, sing over them. You sing praises over them. Have some food. Get a nice bottle of scotch. Have some friends over. If you're married, be with all your family. Make sure to do it with all your family. And make sure to meditate on the candles. Every night, a little bit, even just a minute. Meditate on the candles. It's going to impact you, but also we're thinking about future generations. Listen, please God, Mashiach should be here tomorrow, and everything's going to be a whole different ballgame. Right? But as Jews, we always have to have plan B. Right? For my ancestors, it was a passport to a different country, right? Plan B. So, in case Mashiach doesn't come, in case the world is not redeemed before Hanukkah, these are things we can have in mind when we're lighting the candles. Meditate on the candles. There's even an idea that if a person is sick, God forbid, a person has some kind of physical sick ailment, that meditating on the Hanukkah candles can help heal them. And I'm not like into wacky, new age stuff. I take my kids to doctors too, But I also believe the Hasidic masters when they tell me things. So I'm not going to discount the possibility. And also, if you light the Hanukkah candles, but you light oil, I keep saying candles because that's many people light, but actually, perhaps one of the best ways to do it is with oil, right? With olive oil. If you light with olive oil, your menorah, so the oil that has been used, once you've used it you've lit your menorah, and what do you do with the oil that's left in the little cup? What do you do with that oil? Can you put it on your salad? Nope. That's right. Can't put it on your salad. Good olive oil. No, can't put it on your salad. Right? Because it's now kodesh. It's holy. This has been used for a mitzvah. What do you do with this olive oil? It also has healing properties according to not not too many others. 'Cause this is this works on a different level.
What do you do with it?
So specifically, if you have like a headache, says please forgive me, Rabbi. I read it in a sefer, and he would put it on his temples for headache. So we collect all the olive oil afterwards, and we keep it in a bottle with the year on it. And if anybody has, and sometimes we remember, don't we have that bottle of olive oil? Did we use it yet? Chanukah is so deep. There's so many little things. Save some of the oil for that.
Kind of a plug.
Pardon? A book plug?
Yeah.
In a sec. We'll have time for the... Yeah. Okay. Chaim, l'chaim. Yep. The Sfas Emes tells us that actually the entire holiday of Chanukah is a bit of a nechama. It's consolation for us that we are living in exile. Let me explain. What does the menorah represent that we light? What does it represent? Anybody? Miracles, but which menorah is it representing? Say it louder. The menorah in the Beit HaMikdash, the menorah in the temple. Okay? So it says the Sfas Emes, every Jew who puts a menorah in their home is consoled for losing the Beit HaMikdash. And their consolation is this menorah. This menorah is tied directly to the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. We don't think about that. We come home, we're in a rush, right? We got the kids yelling, and then the latkes are burning, and this and that, and then there's a party you got to get to, and you just got to get them lit. Friends, that menorah literally is the closest thing we have to the Beis HaMikdash in our homes. We have a little piece of the Beis HaMikdash in our homes, on our tables, in our lives. And if you have children, tell your children this. Tell your kids this. Kids, one day the Kohanim are going to go into the Beit HaMikdash and they're going to light the big menorah. Did we need a menorah in the temple? Like, was there not other light? Did they light it for the light? What did they light it for? What do we light the menorah for? To remind us that God's, many things, right? But one is that to remind us that God's light is everywhere. To remind us that God's light is everywhere. And the Jewish people in those days loved this so much. Technically, we didn't have to relight the menorah when the Jewish people reconquered the temple. They didn't have to. They could have waited. They could have just, okay, we did it. We're conquered. We won. Let's wait a few days till we can get some good oil. Actually, maybe we can use not good oil because it's a mitzvah derabim. It's a mitzvah for everybody, right? We could just go to what's that great store? Costco. Yeah, we just go to Costco. We'll get a big jug and we'll light the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash. Why not? Why didn't we just do that? Why even take a chance on lighting this one thing? Because the Jewish people were so in love with the menorah that they didn't want to pass up the chance to light it, even though they didn't have to. They could have waited. And I want to wrap up with this idea for all of you. You know, it says, the sages say, you can look in the Aruch HaShulchan, he discusses it, that one of the reasons we have it for 8 days is because the Jewish people were really bummed. Those are not his words. Jewish people were really bummed that they couldn't celebrate Sukkot that year. They couldn't celebrate Sukkot. The Yavanim, the temple was occupied. They couldn't celebrate Sukkot. And Sukkot was the biggest party in the world. They couldn't do Sukkot. How many days? 7 days plus one of Shmini Atzeres, 8 days. So one of the things that the Jewish people did was they decided they were going to do it for 8 days. They wanted to have an 8-day celebration of the dedication. So I offer everybody this idea. We're in a time of enormous darkness. There is growing anti-Semitism. Shouldn't get worse, please God. We're living in an extremely materialistic world, which stands against so much of what Jewish values are about, and Yiddishkeit, Judaism, is about spirit and spirituality. So these 8 days can actually be transformed into your own Jewish enrichment program. Gesundheit. Your own personal Jewish enrichment program. Don't let Chanukah just show up and you're there. Take time. We have a few weeks. Take time. Plan it out. Think about the things you're going to do. Think about how you're going to make this Chanukah special. Put more thought into this Chanukah than ever before, because we need it so badly. You know, every single night. And Baruch Hashem, there's so many resources, right? There's so many resources. And one night, if you're able to, make a little Hanukkah party and invite somebody over who is less connected than you are. You might think, Rabbi, I'm not so religious, or Rabbi, I'm super religious. Everybody knows somebody who's at a different level than they are in their spiritual life. Hanukkah is the perfect time to reach out to your fellow Jew who's a little bit disconnected, who's not as connected as you, or maybe they have a broken heart, maybe they're experiencing some real challenge. Reach out to that person, bring them over.